Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about the Loki reaction to the new season 2 trailer. Let's get into it.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Till the End of the Line podcast. I am the nerd with the laughs here with
Nerd with the knowledge.
That's right. And today, as he said, we're going to be talking about the Loki season 2 trailer, which a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah.
They are looking forward to this. This is, I mean, not even arguably the best show from Marvel. It is the best show, ratings wise, viewer opinion wise. I think it's because a lot of people, or this tells a bigger story.
Yeah.
Like it connects to a bigger story. I think that's what people
Well,
like.
It connects to everything.
Yeah. Not only that, but everybody loves Tom Hiddleston too. But I think because it's connected to Avengers Kang Dynasty and it's leading all into that, people are more invested in it as opposed to like Hawkeye and the Secret Invasion. They don't really tie into anything else. They're their own stories.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why people aren't liking these shows, because I'm enjoying them.
They're good one-off shows.
Yeah.
But that's what they are, one-off. They feel like those filler episodes that you see in between like a long season that you're watching, and it's just putting in some other stories, but it's not to where the finale is going to end to. You know? And that's what these other shows are. Like WandaVision, as much as it was a romantic show, you know, Wanda's reality warping powers are going to still play a big factor going forward. You know, so that's not going anywhere. You know,
that's tied into Multiverse of Madness.
Right.
So that's, I think, if as long as the MCU starts tying in Disney Plus shows to movies, they'll be a lot better.
Right.
As opposed to just telling their own story.
Yeah. And not too much of a gap in between. So we saw Winter Soldier and or Captain America and whatever it's called, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay. But that we're not going to see the Brave New World for how long?
Isn't it New World Order now?
A New World Order, yeah. Like all of it. Like it's such a long gap. So whatever happened in there is supposed to technically tie into this.
You mean gap as in like us viewing it, or the timeline?
Yeah, us viewing it.
Oh,
timeline it might fall right in place. But
I think it's okay because it's on a streaming service, so people could just watch it right before the movie comes out and be okay.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about like timeline. There's going to be a huge gap, but I think people, because Disney Plus advertises that like right before Volume 3 came out, they were advertising Volume 1 and Volume 2, like watch it before it comes out. Yeah. So I think they might do that with like Falcon. But I do get what, like, some people might fall off of it, or like the excitement of it. They might just be like
but that isn't like out. Captain America. So like what we're saying, like these shows are like just one-off shows here and there that don't tie into the grand scheme of things. Would you? I mean, well, okay, actually that's a wrong question to ask you, because you would watch that series over again. I probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's not something I want to watch over and over. You know what I mean? Like,
which one, Falcon?
Yeah.
Or specifically?
Yeah.
I actually went back and watched another episode just because I enjoyed that show. I know it wasn't really high up on your list.
Right. But it's not high on a lot of people's list. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some people enjoyed it. And like you said, you do.
Yeah.
There are those few that do, but, you know, not knocking them. It's just, you know, I would watch Loki over again to reconnect with the new Loki series again. You know, just because it was such a great show. You know, if they did another Wanda show, or if it's a Vision show, I'd rewatch it because I know it's going to connect.
Well, they're doing Vision Quest, and that's a special presentation, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a continuation of it. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's this.
Well, they haven't really given too much of the synopsis of what it's about yet.
But. Yeah. Well, it's going to be about White Vision, or so it's going to be. It does have to tie in, but this all ties into my question of the day, which is, what do you think the future of Marvel Disney Plus shows is going to be, seeing as how they're not getting too much good feedback as far as like viewer liking and stuff like that? Do you think they're still going to continue with Feige's plan, or do you think the fans like negative feedback is going to influence that?
I just think he has to figure out a formula to it. Like, do, you know, a show, special presentation. A show, special presentation. If it comes out in a rotation, or a show, special presentation, and then a movie, and all of them are directly coming out and connected. As long as you have that web of connection, it can be prime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, they shoot them, and then it doesn't help. With the writers' strike and the actor strike and all that. I get it.
I wonder if that's gonna affect the quality of the shows.
Absolutely.
Because I kind of feel like the quality of these writer shows, or these shows that were coming out with the writers, they probably weren't putting much into it because they were feeling mistreated. So they probably weren't giving us great quality or the best that they could give us.
Yeah.
With like Secret Invasion had a lot of like holes, not holes, but like I was watching The Break Room with Eric Voss and what's the woman's name?
Jessica Clemens.
She's English.
English.
Yeah, she's got an English accent. Forgive me for not remembering her name. I only had seen her that one time. That's why
okay.
I don't. And she was filling in for one of the guy that does the comic book recommendations because he couldn't make it. Or
either way,
I don't know, filling in, but he just wasn't there. But they had pointed out a lot of different areas where like Secret Invasion could have explained a little bit more on or went a little bit deeper into. And I was like, man, that's a really good point. And I wonder if the writers didn't do that because they're like, well, they're not paying me properly right now
that
to
could
go
be
to give this depth of characters. I'm just gonna give them the basics.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it played a factor.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, like thinking back after settling down, really looking at. Oh, excuse me.
You didn't have your
looking at Secret Invasion. Like
today.
I just, I rewatched the cartoon version of Secret Invasion and just how it all happened, and I just. There's so much that they could have capitalized on. This could have been a movie. This could have been a multiple part movie. You know what I mean? This could have been a huge thing. And we've seen the powers that even Gaia just got. So that person, Gravik could have taken on a small team of the Avengers easily. You get what I'm saying? Like had he like manipulated these powers enough, like. So
that's what the cartoon did, right? With the cartoon, they like a team of Skrulls attacked the Avengers, and then the Avengers had to fight off people with their powers, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So like, it's just looking back and like they could have done so much more with it, and I think they still can. You know what I mean? They could have another, Avenger level movie and
Avenger movie. I thought you meant like another Secret Invasion season.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't. Dead. They wouldn't do a season. Yeah, they wouldn't do a season. Not with all those characters too.
Not only that, but I meant because of the fan feedback. Like a lot, I don't think people would watch it, and I think people wouldn't watch anything like scroll wise again besides Secret Wars, which is coming out.
Yeah, you keep saying Secret. I don't think that we're gonna see much scrolls in the Secret Wars.
Really, is that not what Secret Wars has to deal with?
No,
I thought Secret Wars had to deal with scrolls.
No.
What's Secret Wars then?
The first one is, what's always been the Collector and what's his name? They put like, the game Contest of Champions. That's like a version of it, and they create Battle World, and there's an incursion. None of that has to do with scrolls.
Oh, really? So was I just mixing up Secret Invasion and Secret Wars?
I think so.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Fair enough. So okay. All right. So I mean, we'll see what the future.
I don't think this will be the end of scrolls. I think they're gonna do some type of other invasion, but I don't.
Yeah, I feel like people are comparing the MCU. So it's kind of hard because before Endgame, Marvel was really popular and really big because you had the big name heroes and villains.
Yeah,
the story being told, and it would be told on a grand scale because it was all movies.
Yeah.
Now we're going into, I hate to use this phrase, but like the B-list heroes, you start to see like smaller stories. So people keep comparing that to like phase 1 and phase 2. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Like you guys are like, I'm like, stop doing this. Like, I hate when people are like, Marvel's not what it used to be. Like, I know, because it's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
You're telling smaller stories. You can't be what bigger characters were. Like you can't tell those same stories.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but Loki, I think will bring that spark. Loki season 2 is going to bring that spark back. I mean, to seasons.
For me, we'll put the spark back into into it was Guardians 3. I think it was arguably the best from Phase 4. We're getting into Phase 5 now, and I don't think bless you. I don't think there's been anything that's been as good as Guardians. It's been the best out of all of them that came out.
What was in Phase 4? Can I'll pull that up.
But keep so Mom, Multiverse Madness, and then
your mom was in Phase 4. No, that's
good. What's it called? Spider-Man, like all the movies that came out, but none of them in Eternals technically.
Yeah, Eternals wasn't really big of a.
It was a flop.
It was pretty much a flop. Yeah.
Was it entertaining? Yeah, but.
Yeah, I think because a lot of people didn't really. Again, there wasn't a big, big popularity of characters. A lot of people don't even know who the Eternals were.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pull up Fate because you can see what was in the phases. I don't know. I don't know if I know as far as popularity, a lot of people liked Volume 3, but I think No Way Home was excellent too. And
yeah.
Was that in Phase 4?
Yeah, it is. But I just think Volume 3 was the better, more complete movie.
Oh. Yeah, because it tied in
to all the other movies.
To all the other 3.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a better trilogy.
Yeah, I mean it's James Gunn.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, it's James Gunn.
I just can't help but think of the the story behind once I found out what the message behind his Volume 3 was, I can't help not think about the collector is Marvel and the Rocket is James Gunn and you know what I mean? His story behind every time I watch him, I'm like, huh.
Well, it's not confirmed by James Gunn that was the story. So what he's talking about is
right.
Yeah, Rocket is the ultimate survival almost
Something popped up.
Oh. All right.
We're still filming?
Yeah, we're still filming.
All right, cool. Yeah, it was just a slap to the face to Marvel for letting him go, basically. Yeah, is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The theory that could, Rocket's story, and then going back to the High Evolutionary saying, haha, I've survived, and, this is, and then he puts the boots and she ends up killing him.
It's a pretty, I kind of feel especially with knowing who James Gunn is, I kind of feel he would have wrote that in.
But he's never gonna admit that.
Absolutely not, because he still he's that nice of a guy. He's not gonna be hell yeah, it's a nephew to Marvel. He's a nice guy, and he doesn't want that.
Well, I think it's a nephew to Disney, because him and Kevin have a bigger.
Yeah, he literally called Kevin when he got the DCU chairman, coach, CEO deal. So I may have messed up by saying Marvel. I may have said Disney. I should have said Disney.
Yeah, Disney,
not Marvel. Disney. But yeah, because it makes so much sense.
Yeah, it does. It made a lot of sense. And I was the one that brought the theory to. Yeah, that's what they said. And I don't want to put words in his mouth, But it does seem like that was his, FU.
Especially when I know about his writing style. For example, he actually said from his mouth that he just came up with some bullshit for the 6 Infinity Stones in an hour. So he didn't even think hard on it. He's just what could this do? Whatever. Wait,
for what?
Huh?
What do you mean with Infinity Stones? What are you talking about?
Remember in Volume 1 when they're explaining
when Tavern is explaining them?
Yeah. So he's I just in an hour I came up with some bullshit. He's literally sitting next to Star-Lord. But James Gunn is a stickler. He kind of does skits. And on camera, where he's pretending to be for real, but you could obviously tell he's joking. So I don't know if that was part of that, or if that was legit him saying I just came up with some BS.
No. But either way,
so let's dive right into Loki season 2.
Yeah.
So
So it opens up with him him and Morbius walking. They're still in the TVA, and they're walking into some room.
Did you say Morbius?
Yeah.
Mobius,
my bad.
Morbius is the vampire dude, which is a different flop from Marvel.
Mobius and him are walking in to meet some guy named Obi, which is Kiwa Kwan.
It's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. We're not
No.
doing crossovers.
Not at all.
No crossovers.
He just won that Oscar from Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Yeah.
I have not seen it. Have you?
I haven't, but I've been
looks
wanting
good.
to. But I can't find it anywhere.
Oh, for streaming?
Yeah, so I think to be fair, I was looking when it just came out.
Okay.
So I think now it might be
It might be.
available.
Yeah, now that he won an Oscar and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably on HBO or something.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see his character in it.
But Obi, yeah, that's the character. Also, that movie has to do with like time skipping and time travel and stuff like that too.
So we see him time skipping, and it kind of reminded me of Across the Spider-Verse when they're glitching from the dimension. Yeah. It's different. It's not the same thing because that was dealing with dimension. This is dealing with time slipping. So same universe, but you're just slipping through time.
Well,
or it might be because
no, I mean, because in theory the TVA is a pocket reality where that shouldn't be happening. So
right,
just how Miguel O'Hara's little like spider central place that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They
right.
Yeah, so they wear those wristbands to avoid that from happening.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can travel in between multiple places and not glitch. So the dimensions, the reality, time slipping, I think it's all one and the same. I don't think there's a difference. So it's just them showing the glitch or the time skipping.
So it might be the same thing that Across the Spider-Verse reference. Like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure. In my opinion, I think they're one and the same. It's not much of a difference at all.
Okay, fair enough. Because it is. All right, yeah.
Because the dimension, the time...
TVA does deal with different timelines and
it's
dimensions.
The same.
Okay.
Yeah, so all of them are one and the same.
Okay.
It probably is the exact same thing, just different terminology. That's all it is. It's just over there they call it this, over here they call it that.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Like, I don't think there's any difference in it. It's just shouldn't be slipping through time in the TVA. So something's wrong at the TVA. That's the first big thing.
Not with him. You don't think something's wrong with Loki instead of...
It could be with him.
Because Loki...
And the TVA.
Yeah, Loki is very much Captain America where he's a man out of his time.
Yeah.
So Loki's not supposed to be there.
Well,
Loki's
I guess in theory,
there.
everyone from the TVA is a man out of their time.
Correct.
So,
but I just meant like Loki specifically time slipping.
Yeah, but he's also the only one that's a god that has other powers. Everyone else is a human or humanoid of some sort.
Yeah, that's a good point. So it might be because do you think it's tied into his abilities?
It could be his abilities. It could be Sylvie doing other thing. So, do you think the Sylvie we see in the McDonald's uniform is the Sylvie we saw in season 1, or is it a different Sylvie? Because
I think it is just because the look on her face. The look on her face doesn't look like the same look that we know of Sylvie. Sylvie's very confident, very knows what she's doing.
Okay.
The look, she was like kind of in awe or like what's happening, and then I did want to talk about.
So you think it is the same or different?
I don't think it's the same. I think it's a different timeline Sylvie that we're seeing.
Okay.
But I noticed her name tag is so it looks like a very period piece of
the McDonald's. Yeah, so it's 1970s.
70s. So her name tag has 5 stars, and I wonder if that's kind of like a flex from the writers being like, yeah, we have the best rated show. We have Loki 5 stars. Like a small little flex. Like,
yeah,
we're the best. We know it.
I didn't think of that. Honestly,
I did. I saw 5 stars. Of ratings. Okay. All right. So, do you think it's the same, Sylvie?
I don't know. I haven't come to a conclusion yet on what I think yet. That's why I asked, because it needed help. I don't know. But yeah, then we see Miss Minutes and
Morphin going
with the
kaiju.
yeah, it's getting bigger. Yeah, and
she
we
looked
see
like a piece of toast to me.
What? But she's wearing a dress.
Oh my God! Is that what that was?
You didn't see the bottom? Yeah,
that's what it looked like, a toast, and then the top part kind of went like the top of the bread. I was just like, why is she a toast? I thought she was supposed to be a clock.
I didn't see toast at all.
I didn't see a dress. I didn't. Before. I did have toast. I did have toast before we started filming. That was my breakfast.
But yeah, so we see Miss Minutes. She can move things around her, and she's obviously in the real world. So she doesn't only exist in the TVA, so she can project herself in the real world.
Speaking of Miss Minutes, do you think she's gonna have a bigger role this season?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, she was at the Citadel at the end at the season finale, and she didn't go away. Which at some point in the trailer they show that they're at the Citadel again.
Yeah.
And it's just like in ruins. It's like it's wrecked.
Yeah.
After the timeline being exploding.
And maybe you can tell me more about. I don't know if you're familiar with the comics and Miss Minutes, but is Miss Minutes like one of Kang's tech, or is that a mythical creature of some sort?
I don't think it's a mythical. I think it was made specifically for this Loki series.
Oh, really? You don't think it's in the comics?
I don't think so.
Miss Minutes. Huh. It might be. Yeah, well, because is the TVA in any comics?
Yes.
Okay.
TVA is.
So maybe there is possibility that she could have been in the TVA comics.
Well, I don't know if Miss Minutes existed in the TVA back in the day.
Okay.
I think it's
you think it's exclusive to Marvel? To MCU, I mean?
Yeah, because He Who Remains is exclusive to Loki. Also,
really?
That variant of Kang, yeah.
Is not in the comics? Oh.
Correct.
Okay.
So, because the TVA has been around, the Time Variance Authority has always been a thing. And it's always been, it used to be, they had it's always been a Loki thing also. No, I'm sorry, not Loki. A King the Conqueror thing also. But
this is kind of difficult whenever we say Loki because of the phrase that we now use is low-key being like, down low, you know what I mean? So you say it's a Loki thing. I was like, what's the Loki? Oh, you mean Loki, the actor? Okay, the character. All right.
Yes, like the episode we were filming about.
Okay.
But yeah, no, Miss Minutes is specific to just the Loki
MCU.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an MCU thing.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. I didn't know that, but I did know that the TVA, like She-Hulk, she had to do some. As you know, she's a lawyer, so she did. She represented somebody.
Well, I got the about her that she was tasked with serving as the mascot and providing a false narrative of how the timekeepers were the creators of the TVA.
Okay, so it's totally fabricated.
So propaganda type of
she was
character
created by He Who Remains.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. So that, and then you said He Who Remains is specific to MCU, so
yeah,
that makes sense. That's cool. All right.
Yep.
I did have a question since you're bringing up TVA. Do you think season 2 is gonna tie into Deadpool 3 at all? Because Deadpool 3, I remember reading something that the TVA is gonna be involved in Deadpool 3.
Well, they already said that. What's his fucking? Oh wow, what's his name?
Owen Wilson.
Yeah, he's gonna be in Deadpool 3.
He is.
Yeah, that's his role is confirmed in there. So yeah,
is there? Okay,
definitely for sure.
But okay, so we know that. But my question to you is: do you think season 2 is gonna tie in at all to Deadpool? Do you think they're gonna reference Deadpool, or do you think they're gonna be separate from it?
I don't think they'll mention him just yet. I think they'll there'll be something on like one of the panels or the different
like
walls.
an Easter egg with Deadpool's face on it.
Yeah, we can
a wanted poster with Deadpool.
Something along those nature, like just like yes, one of the monitors, the corner monitor, is gonna have something happening and a timeline splitting, and it's gonna show like Deadpool, just like his
or Wade
face.
Wilson. We'll maybe see the name.
Wilson.
Wade.
Yeah. I think we always. I don't think we'll see the full name. We might just see a Wade or Wilson, like just separately. But yeah, I think that's the most that we'll get of any Deadpool reference. I don't, or we might see his katanas of some sort, like just like chilling in one of those boxes.
Do you think the finales will have a post-credit scene to Deadpool?
Well, I mean, Secret Invasion didn't do a post-credit scene
for good reason. Secret Invasion doesn't tie into anything else. It's kind of its own story.
Okay, I guess.
They kind of tried to with like,
it could have gone into the Marvels.
The Kree want to make a what's that, peace treaty with Krolls, so they kind of like, this might connect, but it wasn't a solid like, there's a scene of a meeting with the Kree, you know what I mean, like,
yeah.
But I think seeing as how season 2 directly ties into Loki, into Deadpool.
I don't know if it directly.
Well, you said Owen Wilson's going to be in it, so he's
Yeah, but
definitely
just
going to
because
be
he's part of the TVA.
correct. So that's what I mean by tying into Deadpool. There's literally going to be a character from one show into the movie.
Oh yeah,
So that's
well,
gonna.
so is Nick Fury, and all the scrolls that are on the sword station that he just left up into at the end of Secret Invasion.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So why wouldn't they tie that into the Marvels? You know, they
Well,
had all the
because
connections.
he's already tied into the Marvels because he's been in the movie.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. That's already established. They're not trying to. That's not something coming out that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, I don't think so because we didn't get a Loki end credit scene, did we?
Yeah.
What was it?
You mean season 1?
Yeah.
Oh no, wait, that wasn't that was Ant-Man, right? Where we saw Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was
Quantumania.
Ant-Man. Yeah. I think because they didn't know if they were getting a season.
I think only the movies are the ones.
Yeah, we did. It said season 2 coming, or like season 2 Loki will return in season 2.
Yeah, that's not an end credit scene.
Oh, I thought you meant like anything at post.
Nah, no, like a real scene. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
I don't think we'll get anything at the end of this one. Like it'll be during the season. Just the only one that did like a weird end credit scene was WandaVision. And I showed you that like weird cloak thing floating down in the woods. But that was the only one.
I don't remember that. I probably have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, it's at the end of oh, maybe it is Multiverse of Madness. No, it's not. No, it's at the end of WandaVision, and then Wanda's sitting in that cabin, which is where Doctor Strange goes to see her. Mm-hmm. And then in the cabin, she's astral projecting, but she's also going through the Darkhold and functioning through. So she was able to split herself. While she like is usually like when he astral projects or like his body would sleep, Doctor Strange would sleep, and then he'd read for the library.
Are you talking about where she's where she hears her kids?
Yeah.
That was a post-credit scene?
Yeah.
That was a post-credit scene. Now I know what you're talking about, because you threw me off with the cloak thing in cabin. I don't remember.
Yeah, so
that.
like there's like this weird buffer floating. Like as they're getting to the cabin, you can see the screen getting closer to the cabin. You see the woods and the mountains, and then there's like this weird spot of like, which it looks like it could be what's his name, Doctor Strange, but no one's ever confirmed what that was. But if you look at it, there's this weird like glare that like floats through the sky, closer, and it gets closer to the cabin. It could be an astral projection of Wanda. I don't know what it can be, but no one ever confirmed what it was. But then when you look at it, yeah, it's just like up top left, and then it scrolls down along the top.
Oh, I think I remember seeing like a breakdown of that, where they like zoomed in, like, hey, what is that?
Yeah,
it could be,
but it wasn't there before, and then it appeared the second time. Like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, okay.
No one's really commented on what it meant, but then it goes to her, pouring tea, and then it goes into the room, and she's like floating with the Darkhold, which is like, what the fuck? She can astral project, and her body can still function.
Kind of like what Strange did, where he was reading while he was sleeping.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But the difference is that she can function her full body, and astral project at the same time, versus his body has to be unconscious, sleeping, and then his astral form comes out.
Well, yeah, okay.
But that was an end credit scene. But none of the other shows have had it. Captain America and the Winter Soldier, it ends and then it says Captain America will return, and what does it say?
I think it just says will return,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then She-Hulk didn't have one either.
Yeah.
None of them had one. I don't think we'll get one. That's what the trend seems to be right now. Unless it's going to quickly tie into a movie. Which, low-key...
I think they're trying to keep that for more than movies. Like post-credit scenes. All right. What'd you think? I thought that it was interesting that they can prune a non-biologic thing, so like a wall. So Loki prunes a wall.
I mean, I've seen that.
Oh, with like helicopters and stuff like that?
Yeah, Thanos' helicopter was there.
And
the ship and the
upside
Sphinx.
down. What was that place called? The Void?
Oh, in the Void, yeah.
Yeah.
There's the freaking Sphinx was there from Egypt. And
all right.
Yeah, a whole spaceship. Not spaceship.
But had we seen that done yet in season 1?
No, but
they pruned stuff that wasn't biological?
No, but it was implied when you saw the Void.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's interesting now that we could see it and we see how it happened. Like, I wonder how that works. If it's not a biological person or form, how does it know when to stop? You know what I mean? Like, how would it not? Like, if we did it to this wall, how would it know to stop at this wall and not just keep going? Because
he moves it off.
right, he moves it off, but it keeps going. After he
Mm.
prunes, he takes it off, and then it's still going.
Nah, I don't know. I have to look at it. Well, we're not gonna really tell too much from the trailer, but
That's true. Yeah, I just wonder how that works. I thought it was interesting.
well,
To
speaking
think
of that, we
Mhm.
see like another version of her holding some larger stick of the pruning stick. It seems to be like the first versions of it or prototype versions of it. Maybe when the TVA first started.
Because they didn't want to get close to the people. Maybe
No,
like
it's
an
just
extended-
it's just like a fat stick instead of like the normal baton that they
okay,
had.
so it's a different.
Yeah, it's like one of the very first versions versus this one seems more perfected. You know?
Oh, okay.
Like it's a smaller staff. It's easier to wield and stuff like that.
Yeah. All
But,
right.
Um,
I'm trying to look at what you were talking about, the pruning, to see if he actually does take it off. So he's holding it. Yeah. See. Yeah, he pulls away and then it's still going. So I wonder how that works. I'm just curious as to how that works, and we'll see it. I'm sure. I don't know. Any edges will probably like stop it from doing it. What else did you? I want to know if what's the future of Jonathan Majors in
I don't even want to
as far
speculate.
as King. Like, I wonder.
They're running with him still being there, and as of right now, he's still there. So
To be fair, this was filmed before his legal troubles, wasn't it?
Yep.
So we'll see. They kind of lucked out with Kang having so many variants and different forms, so
Yeah.
like they could easily swap him out.
they
Rhodey
could.
style.
I don't think they will, unless he's. The only way they will if he's convicted, which I don't think he will be, because
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
All right. Any other points you found? You wanna talk about?
Just seeing Victor Timely. Like we were talking about Kang now, so I mean Victor Timely is a variant of Kang. I think I don't know. It's interesting to see what his role is going to be in this. Like, yeah, they showed him, and at the end of the season, we saw, He Who Remains was the person that created TVA, had the whole sacred timeline.
Mm-hmm.
What is Victor Timely's role in this?
Yeah. So He Who Remains was the Kang variant of season 1. It looks like Victor Timely's the Kang variant season 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
What's his role?
So
we
role,
see
yeah.
him. He has that time dilation system that he's created, where it looks like a small ring and then it gets bigger. So we see that, and I don't know if that's his first technology to like be able to jump through time, or what that is at all, or if that's like the prototype of where the sphere came from, which is what we see in Quantum Mania. What he uses to be able to his engine to get through.
Oh, the sphere thing.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Do you think Victor Timely is the one who started the TVA? Because if you look at like that end credit scene, the time period that he's in kind of looks like that technology form or that look in the TVA kind of looks like that. Do you think that he's the one who started the TVA?
Yeah, maybe
and not
Victor
He Who
Timely.
Remains.
Maybe Victor Timely is the first version of He Who Remains, and eventually he turns into that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just his variants at a different time period. So He Who Remains and Victor Timely could be one and the same.
Okay, so like he just ages, and that's who we see him as. Okay.
Because you're right. I mean, like all the technology, even the TVA looks like that time period already.
Mm-hmm.
So it could very well be just he doesn't know about the multiversal war yet. He hasn't met another variant of himself yet. It could just be like the baby version
Of a person of He Who Remains.
Correct.
Yeah. He Who Remains.
Correct.
Yeah. That's a good. Yeah, maybe that's possible because we know time works differently.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't follow the same laws as like regular time, and like in a different dimension, it's outside of time, which is why the Infinity Stones don't do anything there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that looks good. That's a good theory. Anything else?
I'm trying to think of what else. So Citadel. Oh yeah, so the timeline patch. There's like this weird. If you look at one of the chrono monitors, there's like an explosion of all the timelines, and then like this filter, this little like hourglass looking thing, and then the line is normal.
Yeah.
And then we see Morbius going. He seems to be like where the Citadel was, and going on this like
Mobius. You keep
Mobius.
saying Morbius.
Whatever, Mobius. We see him go through this, like, he's in the suit, and then he slaps duct tape. He's like, "Is this a crack?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fine." And he puts duct tape on it. And so he's going through space, or just like null.
That
at
would
the
make
end
me
of time.
nervous as hell if I had to put duct tape on something going out. Like, if I'm in a suit where this is the only suit that's going to keep me alive, and somebody put duct tape, I'd be like, yeah, nope, I'm out.
I mean,
out.
that's what astronauts do.
I know. And do you know how scary that would be going into the void of space with duct tape?
Well, this is the void of the end of time.
Correct. So that's got to be scarier
Yeah.
than space.
So I'm not sure how that's working, but either way, you see him going down on this thing, and at the end, what was on the chronometer originally is now in real time. The timeline getting filtered into this thing, and it looks similar to Victor Timely's machine that he created.
In that post credit scene that we see, right?
Yeah,
Where he's
and
on
they
stage.
showed again in the
Yeah. So we're gonna see where that post credit scene came from.
Right.
We're gonna actually visit that, which is I'm interested to see because I want to see the rest of that.
How soon do you think Victor Timely's gonna pop off? First episode? Second?
Maybe second. I don't know if they'll. Do you think they're gonna show first episode?
I hope they do it, because then it's gonna pull everybody back in. Like, yo, Kang's back, like, right in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then bring him back, like, the fourth, and then the last.
Just showing the history of the other shows, I feel like they're not going to introduce him right away. Because they want people to, like, tune in next week. Or, you know what I mean? So they might, like, drag it. I hope they don't put him in the middle of the season. Because I feel like that'd be too far off. But, yeah, I want to say second season. The first season might be him dealing with the first episode might be him dealing with the aftermath of what happened at the finale. Remember when he comes in and Mobius doesn't know who he is? He's like, "Wait, who are you? Are you a?" Because he went to a different timeline, right?
That we know of, yeah.
Seems
like it.
No, it is because
we see the
statue. Yeah, so it's not the same timeline that he was.
Well,
at.
it's not his TVA.
Because
the TVAs don't exist within a timeline. TVA exists outside of time, like just how the Citadel kind of does. So,
I wonder how that works. How is there multiple TVAs?
That's the biggest question I have. Like, did he just jump forward in time or jump backwards to where Kang was in charge? You know what I mean? Because the TVA doesn't exist in a certain timeline. It totally exists out of it.
Yeah,
which is what threw me off when I saw the ending. It's like, well, yeah, they don't know who this Loki is. So is it before or is it after? Do you think
that's why he's time slipping? Because he went to a different time in the TVA, and he's supposed to be at another time in the TVA?
So maybe there is a timeline for the TVA.
Yeah,
where they operate outside of it. Yeah, that could be a legit theory.
Well, I'm gonna stick with that one.
He's broken the timeline within that little realm that they pocket dimension.
Because even what is his name? Kihei, he says,
Obi?
Yeah, Obi, thank you. Yeah. He says, like, hey, you're not supposed to be able to do that here.
Yeah.
And his character looks like the tech guy. He looks, because you walk into his room, and he's got a bunch of, like, different devices all around the tables and stuff like that. And he's the one patching up his suit. Yeah. So maybe he's the one who made the suit to be able to go out there. Maybe he's the tech guy behind what's that thing you called? The timeline device that's like clamping down the timeline. What did you call it?
I don't think I had a name for it. I just said it was.
You said something that like a device. You called it something, or maybe you said the.
I just called it a timeline patch.
Patch.
Seems like it'll be a patch of some sort.
Maybe he's the one who designed that patch, or at least had to deal with the making of that patch.
Yeah.
And that's why he's sending him out, because he's connected to a big tube, which is, I'm guessing, the oxygen.
Yeah. So interesting to see what that's going to be.
Yeah. I can't wait for that scene, which I feel like that's going to happen way later in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like episode 5.
Probably.
Going right into 6. Right into the
Is
finale.
there only going to be 6 episodes?
I believe so.
Okay. So it's coming out October 6th.
Yeah, actually, you said so. Where Obi is from, it says it's the repair and advancement department. That's where he's from.
So it looks like he's the
tech guy.
The tech guy, yeah. I did want to say, so the high, since you say Kang, well, it's known Kang doesn't have any abilities or superpowers. He has technology. It looks like his technology is very similar to High Evolutionaries in Volume 3.
Yeah, that
Where
weird
he had
gravity pool.
the gravity suit, and Kang manipulated gravity in Quantumania, where he held that dude up against the wall.
Yeah.
Or, he flips up somebody else, but then he moved Scott, too, right?
Scott and Cassie.
Cassie is the other one he did, right? And then, he moved
MODOK.
MODOK, yeah. So it looks like that's similar tech, and it was purple, too.
Yeah.
High Evolutionaries had a purple suit.
Yeah.
I wonder what's the deal with the color purple.
Yeah. I mean, color royalty, they think they're...
Power and royalty, that's what it is. Okay. Yeah, so I noticed similarities between those two guys.
Yeah, we talked about it before, like, he could be another variant, you know? No one really knows, like,
I wouldn't put too much stock into that.
Yeah.
I think he's his own person. High Evolutionary?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's a King variant.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I think that's... Well, we know he's saved, so, like, he's not dead. The High Evolutionary. Adam Warlock was... No, someone was carrying him on their shoulders, like, to cross from...
There is a deleted scene where it shows High Evolutionary in a cage. And Rocket's like looking at him, then Rocket closes the door on him in a cage, which I really wish would have made the show, because then that's kind of story coming to an end where High Evolutionary is the one grabbed him out of a cage, put him in a cage, and then it ends with Rocket doing it to him.
Yeah.
So it's like, now you know how it feels. Now you know how it feels. Like, I feel like it's a real misstep. I don't know why. Like, that's the beauty with James Gunn's writing. He really knows how to start and finish the story.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel like that would have been the perfect ending for High Evolutionary. At least a continuation. Maybe they wanted to keep his whereabouts mysterious, because they don't know if they want to bring him back or not. Yeah. So maybe that's...
Well, they showed it in the movie that he was getting carried off.
You saw that? That him being carried off? Oh.
Yeah, so when... Before the separation of, like, where they're connected, the nowhere, the celestial head, and then the High Evolutionary ship, like, they're jumping and it's connected, and they have, like, the air pocket or whatever, right? Somebody's carrying the High Evolutionary's body through onto the other side.
Oh yeah, I don't think I caught that. I don't think I caught that. Okay.
I don't remember who's carrying it though, but I have to figure that out. But yeah, he was saved. No one was left on the spaceship.
I didn't catch that. Yeah, and I just watched that last night. I still didn't see it again for the second time. Yeah, I didn't see it again.
Yeah, I watched it last night too.
Did you? Oh, nice. So see, that's how we're here. We watch the same thing at the same times. All right, so yeah, I didn't see that one.
Do you think this will remain as a top show out of all of them?
I think so. Just because, like I said, it just broke a record for, like, or not broke a, I don't know if it broke a record, but it still remains the highest viewed trailer out of all the Marvel shows at 80 million views.
Yeah.
So
That's
people
crazy.
like this show. It's gonna remain to be the top. I don't see a show coming out Marvel wise. I know Echo's gonna bomb. I know it. If people didn't like Secret Invasion, I guarantee you they're not gonna like Echo. Even Feige had like, yo, it's not even close to being ready. The show is not releasable. He goes, is that bad? And they're doing a dump. They're dumping the entire series at once. So that shows me they don't have faith in it, because they don't think people are gonna tune in weekly for it.
Yeah.
So that one is. I think the next big show is gonna be Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
Then that's gonna be the next
big favorite,
high rated. Like, not one person is gonna say bad.
I think
things.
that's what they should really do. It's just the shows to just go down to like street level stuff, just like, and do it good with long, like how Deadpool had. I'm sorry, not how Daredevil on the Netflix series had multiple seasons, and just continue to grow. If they want to reintroduce Echo, fine, but do it in a way where it's impactful on the ground level, on the on the Earth level, not on the in space, and the grand scheme of Secret Invasion or not Secret Wars.
I feel like they have been street level. I just don't think that the stories have been powerful enough for people to be engage in them.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, we know the issues that Falcon and the Winter Soldier had. It could have been a better show, but they changed a lot of things due to COVID, because of the original storyline.
oh yeah,
So
the same thing happened with Multiverse of Madness, and that kind of made it better. It had the opposite effect.
Yeah.
COVID stopped it, and then they were able to rewrite the story, and turned out to make it a better story.
Yeah, well, but it was supposed to be a biological warfare, like a disease similar to COVID. That's why they changed Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So they're like,
yo, this is too close.
Yeah, it's
no.
too, exactly.
Yeah.
Too close. Exactly. So versus this, in this case, yeah, they were for Multiverse of Madness. They were to rewrite it and make it better and make improvements. This one, I'm sure the original version of it probably would have been stellar.
Do you think it probably would have done better in the ratings because it's like, yo, it's like just like COVID, like people would be watching it? Or do you think they were right to be like, no, let's change it?
No, they were right to say let's change this.
Really?
Because then you can speculate that like Disney's involved with COVID.
Oh God,
there was all this, like, yeah, come on, yeah. You don't want any of that publicity.
There's so many conspiracy theories to be like, see, Disney is responsible.
Yeah,
like yeah,
that's just the whole PR nightmare they don't want.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay,
so regardless if it would have been better or not, it was the right move to make.
That's a good point. Yeah. All right. I wonder how the writers' room was like. We already wrote what's happening right now. What's happening
this
right now?
This is creepy.
Yeah. It was like very Simpsons-esque. Like,
yeah,
we did this, but the wrong way.
They had just acquired Fox at that point too. So I mean, maybe
it's a lot of things lining up, man.
That's why it was right for them to just be like, pull this part.
Just
no, we don't want that. Yeah, we don't want that smoke.
Do you know the theory behind Simpsons that it's not like them being is it not oracles? What's the name of the power? Clairvoyant. It's not them being clairvoyant. It's just them seeing patterns, and then if you pay attention to the patterns, you can predict what's going to happen.
I mean, yeah, but
that's they're not clairvoyant. They're like, we just can see how things are going to pan out. Like, it's not hard, especially if you look at history.
Yes, but some of it's too detailed where that's so hard for me to believe.
Like when Donald Trump was going down.
Yeah,
that is 100% easy to predict. When people are
exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, but when people are on a presidential run, they're gonna hit malls. They're gonna, like, yeah, the angle was kind of suspicious, but you know how many camera shots are in that? They just found one similar to The Simpsons. You know what I mean? It's very that I can believe, because that's super easy to spot. Like, oh, he's gonna be on a tour to be a president. He's gonna hit up a mall.
I don't know.
It's not as clairvoyant as people think. It's more like predictions. They get lucky. They get lucky a lot of times. They're like, yo, that literally looks exactly like how we said it was gonna be.
There's some shit that says that's
Language.
said, and I'm just like, that's
like the Pokemon Go app.
A lot of it. It's just a lot of it. Just a lot of it.
Where they saw that coming. That's not hard to predict. Like, as big as Pokemon was, and then when this whole app craze came out, they're like, they've got to make it. And it's really easy to predict too, because there was already the Game Boy games. The Game Boy games were out.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
You know what I mean? No, I'm
go.
just saying, because if you're talking about like the TV, the shows kind of mimicking real life,
mm-hmm.
I think it's very easy to do. But I think what you said, it's better that they stepped away from that with like Brave New World and stuff like that, or
Falcon and Winter Soldier
and like New World Order and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Any other points you got on Loki? Any other things that you saw?
No, I mean, it looks like it has the grounds to be another great show. It'll definitely tie into, like we said, Deadpool. It'll tie into what's going to happen with King Dynasty.
Okay.
This is the only thing that's been King related outside of the Ant-Man,
They did say that the ending, it looks like the ending of the show is going to tie in directly to Avengers King Dynasty.
Yeah, there's
so like,
when does King Dynasty come out? 2025.
Dude, the strike has delayed so much stuff again. True. The strike is like another COVID, man. It's delaying so much stuff. So it's the timelines are going to be all messed up as far as like now they don't even have a release date for Beyond the Spider-Verse.
Right.
So who knows when we're going to get that. And that was left on a cliffhanger. So that sucks.
Yeah.
That was left on a to be continued like style. So now we got to wait more for the continuation. So it's like,
yeah, it'll be interesting times.
yeah.
But we'll be here, guys, watching the movies, talking about the movies, talking about the shows.
We might not have. There might be like dead times for us where we're like we don't know what to cover because nothing's coming out anytime soon. Which
so if anybody wants to be on the show, and reach out to us. It's time to have some guests on, have some fun, just do some funny, goofy stuff.
Just talk about random stuff.
Yeah,
we'll probably do like another. We had that one episode where we did random MCU questions. Probably do another one of those. I kind of want to do that, but for DC now.
Okay.
Random DCU questions.
Yeah.
Especially with all these flops, we'll have so many questions.
Why
didn't they do this?
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about how bad DC's doing right now.
I kind of do, man. I want to talk about it just because everybody else is. Everybody's like hating on it. I just
don't want to be a hater. I want them to turn it around and pull it together.
Well, it's not about us being a hater. We could just talk about why people don't. We could just talk about the stuff that's been out there.
Because it's trash. That's the reason why it's such trash.
It is, but it's not us being hating on it. It's what's out there. People are not liking it for a reason. It's not like people are anti DC. They're just see it and
they're anti the movies. The movies are just not what they should have been.
Because the shows the cartoons are phenomenal, dude. I watched Flashpoint Paradox. That was amazing.
Right?
It was such a good cartoon, man. It's just like it. I don't know where the disconnect is between the animation and the video or the live action, but they've got to get those writers in on the movie writing.
Yeah.
Because it's phenomenal, and I didn't even know. There's another actor, Michael B. Jordan, that's both a MCU and a DCU characters. He was Cyborg. Did you know that? Michael B. Jordan was Cyborg?
Yeah.
I didn't know that before watching Flashpoint Paradox.
No.
Yeah, Film Addicts had said, oh, Michael B. Jordan plays Cyborg. And I was like, oh. And then I go watch it, and I'm like, that's Michael B. Jordan's voice. I just am curious if I would have caught that. I'd have been like, why does that guy sound familiar? I'm like, Killmonger. Oh, that's him.
I recognized it when I first saw it.
I think I would have because I heard it immediately.
I had rented the Red Box, I think.
The version when the video when it came out.
Yeah, yeah. That's how long ago I seen it when it first was released.
HBO Max has so much DC animated content.
Yeah, man,
it's like there's a lot, and I want to get into it, but is there so much? There's so much, dude. I'm like, I don't know what order to watch this in, and like I gotta like consult somebody. Like, which they said is good. I started off with Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah.
So I was like, start off with that, and then watch the other stuff. I was like, ooh.
There's lots of other stuff. I'm telling you, Injustice or Young Justice is a good show to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good show.
I think that might. Oh, that's a show, not a movie, right?
Right.
All right. I'm still on the Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn's more of a parody show, though. Because...
And Harley Quinn's a new thing. It's not... Oh, man, well, I guess Young Justice is in... it's not based off of comics. Then they made comics of it now, but it's a new thing. But it's really well written. And anyone can watch. You can watch it with the kids, It's good.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Harley Quinn, you definitely can't.
No.
Definitely cannot. It's funny. It's a funny show, but it's such a parody, and where like Joker's a stepdad, and he's wearing Bill Cosby like sweaters, and life is him as a stepdad, which is the furthest thing from Joker.
Yeah,
he's never gonna settle down and have a family. Like he's gonna go out dying in a plot of his. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean that's. As far as like show wise, DC's still on top, I think.
Yeah.
Marvel's got to figure out their form, which is weird because that's how like Marvel and DC are the complete kind of opposite. Where DC movies flop, Marvel movies do great. Marvel TV shows do bad, DC shows do really good.
But it wasn't DC writing it; it was C-Dub and those people. Like DC didn't have a. It's not
right, but they're still the ones clearing the content and be like, yeah, you guys can do this. They're not investing in the actual project enough, And I think that's the difference between
Well,
Marvel
no,
and DC.
they gave off the rights and let Warner Brothers and
Correct.
C-Dub and just do it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Versus, so these people are able to do whatever they want. Versus
Mm-hmm.
Marvel has Kevin.
Correct. That's
That,
what I'm saying. That's that disconnect. That's that where Marvel's doing it right and DC's not.
yeah.
But then you got on the flip side, DC's doing great job in their animated. Marvel's flopping on their TV. It's like, are they not invested enough in the TV side? I want to know what's going wrong
But they
there.
don't have TV side. It's Disney Plus.
That is TV.
It's not TV. It's Disney Plus because it's streaming.
Yeah, but now in this day and age, streaming is now considered TV.
Right, but it's not. It's they have time to. It's not like it's a because C Dub is as much as a daytime show or like a soap opera. That's what the C Dub is. You know what I mean? That's where all that stuff gets released. Versus they have a that's what they're there for. Like that's what they do all the time. Versus Disney Plus, and like, yeah, I get what you're saying. It's like TV, but it's not. It's not the same. It's really not the same.
No, I think what you're saying is the production side of it may not be the same, but I would argue that it is because these CW shows, their production part is way more than what we see. Like, yeah, it comes out weekly on a TV show, but their production is way far ahead of time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Disney Plus, they can film it all and then release it later, and CW, they have to film and then like have it out in a week, and then they film again, have it out in a week.
Yeah.
Like that might be different, but it's still the same process. Where, because like the reason I say still streaming is considered TV is because Emmy recognizes streaming as TV. So like Emmys, people that win awards on streaming platforms, they win it under the TV category. Like it's not movie. It's streaming is considered TV now.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get that, but the process of it's the shows on Disney Plus are produced like a movie. So it's all done at once, produced like a movie, and then they cut to make episodes. Versus daytime TV and real TV, it's filmed by episode, and there's a script for that episode, and then on to the next. Versus,
I think you're saying that because it's smaller increments, and like CW has like 20 something episodes, and like this one only has 6. So I get what you mean by that.
because that's the approach that Disney is taking with the Netflix show or the Disney Plus shows, all of them, even all the Star Wars
They're
shows.
just like
They're just large
movies
movies that are cut into episodes. That's exactly what it is. So it gives them, and that's the reason why they wanted to do it, because it gave them the ability to, like, Endgame was what, 4 hours long or something like that. 3 hours long. No, but the real cut of all.
Oh, the unedited cut. Yeah.
It was like super long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Had Endgame been a show, thank God it wasn't. But either way, like it could have been spread up into how many episodes. So all these shows are filmed in with a movie mindset that this is one large movie that will break down into different episodes. Versus, it's just not the same when it comes to daytime TV. Soap operas and the Flash and what's it called?
So you're talking
Green
about
Arrow.
like storyline wise.
The storyline, yeah, because you can focus on a weekly storyline.
Mm-hmm.
And then build off of that one. Versus this is one big picture, and that's why it looks the way they look. So they're not as much as it's TV. It's not TV because they're filmed totally differently. They can fall into the category, but they're not filmed at all the same way. And the budget's huge for the Disney Plus shows that they're doing.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's because it's more CGI.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. Where like the
I mean, I agree with what the Emmys are doing. Like it's to give them the recognition for the work.
It's categorized as TV, but what you're saying is the format of the shows is different.
It's
so
far,
okay.
yeah, they're far from each other.
So okay, all right. I get what you're saying. Well, you threw me off with calling it TV, but okay, all right, fair enough. Well, I mean, I think that's what we got to talk about. About Loki. I'm excited for it. Hope you guys. I know you guys are. 80 million people are watching this for a reason. So coming up, don't forget we got our next thing is our live episode at Raw Comics.
Yep.
We got that coming out. I'll put the link to their website in the description below. But the address. Let me get the address that we're gonna be at. Do I have the address? Yeah. 2512 West 47th Street in Chicago. We'll be there from 6 to 8 timeline. We'll probably get filming around 6:30-ish. If everything goes according to plan. Guys, we're going to be doing a lot of good stuff. We got a quiz. We got some giveaways. We're going to be giving some stuff out. We got a kind of like a cosplay contest style thing. So if you come dressed up, I know a few people are. Raw Comics wants to do a giveaway. So they're, we'll put up on our IG pictures of people, and whoever gets the most votes, I think Raw Comics will give them some kind of giveaway. So we got contests, stuff like that, and then we're just gonna talk about different things what's going on in the comic world, Marvel, DC, Star Wars. We'll talk about a bunch of different stuff. Take questions from people that show up, so please come by. If you can't, but catch us on IG. We're gonna go live on IG, and then we'll have the episode up also on YouTube.
Yep.
So check us out for that. But I think it's gonna do it for us. Kike, any last points?
No, that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it. All right. Anything else that? Oh, you have you want to talk about some merch possibly coming, right?
We'll hold off.
You want to hold off on that? Just keep an eye out for that merch info. But all right, so that's gonna do it for us today, guys. And thank you guys for joining us again. And Kike, as always, I'm with you
To the end of the line.
Thanks, guys.